Good morning to all of you. I think it's great to see such a good audience, big numbers. I was told it's in the range of over 350 to 400 people here. So I'm very happy and excited that we have a very good audience, and on top of that we have a very good program. And let me begin just by thanking those who have put this together. We have a governing council in ASCENT, some of the members of ASCENT who are active. And they have played a very important role in this event in terms of putting it together. So may I request those who are active in this event, can they just stand up? Sanjay, where is your team? Please stand up. I think there are 6, 7 of them, yeah. So there are some more, yeah. We also have our full-time ASCENT leadership team, and I would like them to stand up, please. The names are Archana Das, Shivani Divecha, Jivita Budurani, Jigar Shah, and then we have 3 interns with us, Simran Verma, Dhavani Shah, and Manan Kacheria. And of course, Manak, where is he? Manak is there. So thank you very much for putting in all the efforts. I know the team has been working very, very hard in the last few days. They've been there in the office until midnight. And they've really worked very, very hard to make this happen. I would also like to thank the sponsors who sponsored the event. So thank you very much for being associated with us. So my topic for today's discussion is leading business with a purpose. And if I asked you, what are the 2 most important days in your life? And this was a question which was asked by a leading philosopher in a large audience. And he got lots of answers, you know. So most of them said that the day I was born was the most important, which it is. And the second most important day in one's life, there were different answers. The day I got married, the day I got my first job, the day I became a father, the day I started earning income. But I think there is one more important reason why the second most important day in your job, in your life, is beyond what I mentioned just now. And I think that's what the purpose is about. The second most important day in your life is the day when you realize why you were born. So I think that's bring a purpose in our lives. And I think it's very important for all of us to go on asking that question, why were we born? Because at some stage in one's life, I think there is much beyond making money, much beyond having a family, and I think that's something which will go on keeping you sustained all your lives. So I think I will ask all of you to just go on searching for that answer, why I was born and what can I do to make my life more fulfilling. And just like individuals need a purpose, I think organizations also need a purpose. And I'll talk about what we did in Marico. What kind of purpose do we have? But before that, let me just say that I think the business of business is more than a business. Many of us think that we are there in business because for the sake of promoters, we want to earn good profits. Of course, that is important. But I think there is much more than that in a business. Making money is important. But business has various stakeholders, you know. We have promoters. We have our own employees. We have our associates, key associates who work with us, and in Marico, associates like advertising agencies, distributors, CNF agents. Then you have your own customers. And then finally, the society you're operating in. So we said that instead of just being there for our promoters and shareholders, can we play an important role in the lives of all our stakeholders and not just promoters? Because the purpose is the reason why we exist. And we need to look at wherever we are able to make an impact and with all our stakeholders. We also believe that all the stakeholders are interlinked. If I do something good for my employees, they will feel far more motivated. If they are far more motivated, it will result in better results. That will get reflected in capital markets. If the capital markets are doing well, it will help us, say, in making acquisitions. We'll grow. If we grow, the associates will also grow. So there is a very strong interlinkage with all the stakeholders. And we said that what can we do to all our stakeholders, and that's where we started having an insighting process. We did an insighting with our own employees, with our other associates, and we said that can we do something more for them? And we came with our purpose, and our purpose reads as be more every day, make a difference to wherever your impact you're dealing with in your organizational journey. So with that, I will cover now each segment and what have we done, just to show you that I think when you do something for your stakeholders, each and every stakeholder, it comes back to you. You do it with an open mind, do it with a strong belief, and it comes back to you in some way. So Marico was formed in the year 1990 when it acquired the Consumer Products Division of Bombay Oil Industries. And that gave me a great opportunity to redesign the organization structure, to address skill gaps. And we had to recruit something like 30, 40 senior managers within a period of 6 months. So we recruited, of course, we recruited a lot of people. But when you have 40 people coming in from different backgrounds, you realize that you are becoming a melting pot of different cultures. Each one came with a set of beliefs in terms of how to deal with people, how to deal with products. And actually, there were a lot of conflicts within the organization at that time. Because for a non-performer, somebody would say that let's sack him. Somebody would say that we should be loyal to our people. So we had to define our organization way of doing things. How should organization deal with people, products, and profits? And I think that led to me writing down some of my thoughts in terms of what should I be doing, what should be our approach to people, products, and profits. So I wrote down some random thoughts in 30, 40 pages, and I shared that with my team at that time. And they were very, very excited because at that time in 1990, I think very few organizations had values, and culture was not too much of heard of. So it evoked a very positive response from my team. So we, over a period of time, finalized that value document. It got value addition from my team members. And then we said, what do we do next? So we went back to the next 2 levels of leadership. And we called them to a 2-day retreat, and we told them that this is something which we have finalized, and we would want your input in it. And we again broke those groups into smaller groups and asked them to give feedback. So at the end of those 2 days, we had a whole host of suggestions in terms of where do we need to improve upon, where are the gaps. I think the most important thing I realized in doing all this was that when you involve people, you get their commitment. I could have finalized this on my own, given it to people, and it would have always been perceived as the managing directors or the leadership's values and not my own values. But the fact that everybody participated and had a say in the values, it really had a big impact in terms of ownership. Because when you want to create a culture within an organization, I think the top 2-3 layers play a very, very important role. If somebody gives a wrong signal, then it will just not take place, the culture. And I've seen that in many organizations, the values are displayed in the reception when you actually go and ask people down the line. And they said, this is something which is there for display, but actually what is happening in the organization is very different. And we didn't want that to happen. So post that, we went to all the locations. I personally went to all our factories, all our regions, and explained to them why we are doing this. We also got a lot of suggestions from them in terms of what are the gaps, what we want to do, and where are we today. And I think that gave us a great opportunity to improve on a lot of areas. And if I had to describe the Marico culture, I would say that it's very open. And how do you drive openness within an organization? And that was a big challenge. So we said that, can we share more information with our members every year? Can we have an open house at all our events? And we do it across the organization at all our locations once a year, in an event where there's an open house where anybody can ask any questions to management, even an awkward question about his salary or some perquisites or any other facilities. And I think that promotes openness. At that time, we were moving into a new office, so the brief given to the interior designer was that it should promote openness, so we could see each other, what each one was doing. So there was one other way of reinforce openness. So when you do things from different angles on a perpetual basis, you create a strong culture. The same thing is on trust. We believe that trust is very important. And we said that what can we do to generate trust? And I'm talking in 1991, we did away with a leave policy. We said that we just have a 30-day privilege leave. There is nothing like a sick leave or a casual leave, because if you're sick, we trust you. If you have some casual work, yes, you can work, and then actually we'll trust you. We also did away with authorization of expenses by the boss. So we turned towards what we call self-authorization. So if you incurred any expense on behalf of company for a telephone or some trip you've done, you can self-authorize that. So again, different ways of looking at trust. We did away with muster in the office. So, and each person had to maintain his own leave records. And that led to an environment of trust. We are a very, very participative organization, highly empowering, and we believe that we have to be a flat organization. We have to empower all our members. Do a lot of job rotation, learning, and strong career path orientation. So with all this, we believe that we have created a culture where people enjoy working. And I think that's what has led to our own members working and engaging with the organization at its peak. And we started with a mindset that, okay, we have to make this a good place to work in. And looking back, I think it has been a very good move, because that has led to very strong engagement levels from members and giving it back to us and being working with us on a long-term basis. But I think in all this, the leadership buy-in was the most important thing. I will move on to the next set of stakeholders, which is shareholders. And we went public in 1996. We went public at a price to earning multiple of 13. And within 3 years, our multiple fell to about 7. All the other FMCG companies were quoted at a multiple of 20 at that time. And why did we fall in multiple? Because Hindustan Lever at that time said that we are entering the coconut oil segment, which was the largest part of our business at that time. So there was a big threat from HUL, being a larger company, much larger than us. At that time, we were doing a turnover of about 600 or 700 crores. And they went public in their analyst meets. They also talked to their distributors, saying that we will wipe out Marico, we'll wipe out Parachute. We have done that to Colgate. We have given them a strong fight in the oral care segment. So either they will sell it out to us, or they'll get wiped out. And I also got a phone call from the Hindustan Lever chairman saying that, please sell out Mr. Mariwala, otherwise your history. But I was obstinate. I said, nothing doing. I'm not going to sell out. This is the business which I know. And to us, this is a resource generating engine. To levers, it is one of the things which they are doing. So they launched the product, their product. They had also acquired one more brand. And we took them on. We took them on different fronts. We took them on the product front. We tried to improve the quality of the products through better clarity. We came up with an advertising campaign which was very emotional in terms of linking coconut and the purity of coconut, the auspiciousness of coconut to the brand. We improved our distribution, and this forced us to go into rural areas, because earlier in those days we were not active in rural, but Levers was active in rural. So actually that threat meant that we had to go rural, and looking back, that was a good thing, because we were forced to go rural, and that opened up a new set of opportunities for us. And finally, the most important thing we had to deal with was dealing with motivation of our field force and our distributors' field force. Our distributors' field force were feeling very threatened that the promoter is taking such a giant like Levers and he's making a big mistake. We will not be able to survive. So we had to take them on aggressively, and we actually called them to a launch conference like this, and everybody had to enter the launch conference through a tunnel, and it was actually like a war room scenario. And with all that, we actually used that opportunity to motivate them and said that we will take them on, and if there is anything which needs an immediate action, we will have call lines where you can talk to us. So I think with all that, we took them on. They launched the product in 2006, and they launched the product in 1996, 1998. They took some market share, they gained a market share of 10-12%, but not at our cost. They took the market share at the cost of some weaker players. And somewhere in their journey, they started losing interest because they were not able to grow. So in the year 2002, 2003, they started losing interest in this segment. And their market share dropped from about 12% to about 8%. And through a lot of personal interactions, I was able to convince the leadership at Levers that you're not attending to this seriously, why don't you sell it off? And of course, they were ready to sell it off. So at some stage, they said that we'll sell off the brand. And I thought they will just come to me and say that you take the brand and give us whatever you want. But surprisingly, they said that we'll do an open auction. So that meant that we had to give a bid. And it so happened that all the other Indian FMCG companies, Godrej, Emami, Dabur, they were all in the fray for the brand. And we said that how do we quote for this brand, how much do we quote? And all our internal calculations felt that we should quote 150, 160 crores. Because others will not be able to quote that much. And we just had a board meeting 2-3 days prior to the day we were about to give that quotation. I still remember that I see Rajiv Bakshi was here. He's saying this acquisition is very, very strategic for Marico, And you cannot keep some reserve, At the end of the day, if you don't make that acquisition, you should not repent. So you should go all the way. So we upped our quotation from our mindset of 150, 160 crores to whatever our full valuation was, which is 215 or 216 crores. And we quoted that and we got the brand. So from being a seller to Levers, we actually bought that brand from them. But the most important learning for me was that when you want to acquire something desperately, don't try and optimize, you just go all the way, Looking back, it has been one of the best acquisitions today. This was acquired in 2006. In 10 years, we must be making a profit of more than 200 crores in that brand, So it has been a very good acquisition. Levers got complete surprise, saying that, wow, you got it fantastic. We didn't expect this kind of valuation for this brand. All the other competitors also felt that. But it's okay to overpay because we just ensured that the brand came to us. So I'm saying that this whole fight with Levers helped us. Some of the areas where we were perceived were weak we perceived as a commodity-driven company. And we said, how can we overcome that perception in the capital market? So we said that, can we create a consistent track record, saying that it's not a commodity. If you're a commodity-driven company, then your profit and loss account will go on varying every year. So we said that, can we drive a continuously consistent track record in terms of top line and bottom line growth? And we did that over a period of time. For 9 years, we showed continuous top line and bottom line growth quarter on quarter. And that helped us change the perception in the capital market that it is not a commodity-driven company. It has strong brands and it has pricing power. Some of the other negative perceptions about the company was that it was owner-managed, that there were some related party transactions. The brands were owned by Bombay Oil Industries, but leased to Marico. So we changed that. Marico bought that brand from Bombay Oil at a low valuation. We also ensured that there are no related party transactions. We also constituted an independent board with 75% independent directors. And we also went into quarterly dividends. At that time, it was a new thing. Every quarter, we used to declare dividends. We had a very strong investor relations cell where we shared a lot of information with our members. To increase liquidity, we came out with bonus issues, stock splits. I think all that led to a big change in how the market perceived us. And from that low multiple of 6, 7, we increased the multiple, and today our multiple is equal or better than many of the MNCs companies. We are on a multiple of 40 to 45 multiple. But a lot of action went into making that happen, and that has helped us in terms of acquiring many other businesses, for driving shareholder value, for having ESOPs, which is again given to our senior members and making it good for them. So what I'm saying is that when you do something for promoters, it is just not for promoters, it is for many other stakeholders. It comes back to the other stakeholders. I'll now move on from shareholders to consumers. Do consumers buy brands? I think beyond buying brands, they partner with brands. And the relationship between the consumer and the brand cannot be transactional. It's very critical to appreciate this difference and evolve brand strategies. And one of the brands, Saffola, which we have, is good for heart. And we have very, very poor statistics as far as heart health is concerned in India. So we said that can we do something to improve heart health awareness amongst people in India. And we have taken many initiatives in this area. We have formed a Saffola Healthy Heart Foundation, which was formed in 1991. And the objective is to bring in awareness, get people to know their risks, and help people to take action to lower the risks. So we, every year on the World Heart Day, we have one initiative. Like last year, we had free cholesterol checkups. We have contests for walkings. We have dial a dietitian, where you can actually dial a dietitian and talk to the person in terms of what should be the diet to improve heart health. And through all that, the overall image of the brand is improved. So in a way, we wanted to give something back to the consumers in terms of selling the product beyond the oil and helping them take care of heart health. And that has led to a huge increase in terms of our user base. Saffola has the highest attitudinal share, indicating thought leadership amongst all the edible oil brands. And it is indirectly reflecting in higher potential for the brand and higher growth. So it makes perfect economic sense to continue an integrated CSR work by investing in heart health for the brand. I'll move on to associates. I'm just giving you some examples. We buy a lot of copra for coconut oil. And India is the third largest producer of coconut. And coconuts are mainly grown in southern states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And we have 7.5 lakh farmers in coconut farming. Marico buys 1 out of 13 coconuts produced in India. So what have we done to improve coconut farmers and their lives? We started having collection centers. We have 19 collection centers in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And the earlier days, the farmers used to sell the product to a copra converter, and copra converter would take it to a local broker, and from there it will go to a market, bigger market. Then it will go to terminal markets, and then it will come back to us. So there was a huge chain, and many people were involved in that chain. And it meant a lot of logistics costs, because the copra would get transferred from the produce to producer where he was located to a market like Calicut. Again, it will come back. So we said that can we do something which is much more direct? So that's how we opened collection centers in rural areas, and we actually source copra from them and get it directly to our factory. So what has been the benefit? Huge disintermediation and direct benefit to the farmer. We said that we don't want to take all the benefits, so we give them higher rates to the farmers. And we also give a lot of advice to farmers in terms of best practices for improving coconut productivity and things like that. So I think that has been a win-win situation for us, because we are able to source copra directly from the farmer. A lot of savings in logistics cost. The farmer gets a better rate. And it's a win-win arrangement where both the farmer as well as we improve. So, and finally, in terms of society, we also believe that organizations have to give something back to the society. So for Marico, we have started Marico Innovation Foundation. This began in the year 2003. And we have taken various initiatives in this area. We've done research studies in innovation. We have come up with a book on innovation, which has sold something like 60,000 copies. Every 2 years, we have awards where we award innovators. And of late, we have started what we call scale-up programs for highly innovative organizations. We realize that many organizations are innovating in small pockets, and they don't know how to scale up. So if we actually work with them, and if we help them scale up, then the impact of the innovation will be far more. So with that, on an average, we work with about 6 to 9 innovative organizations and help them scale up. And I think that, again, has improved the organization's image. So what I wanted to say was this: all the stakeholders are interconnected. And it so happened that after we came out with our purpose, I happened to read a book which was written by Raj Sisodi and Jagdish Sheth. And the name of the book is Firms of Endearment. It's a very good book. It is basically, they compared a set of publicly traded companies in US with 11 good to great companies. And what they found out was that the good companies, firms of endearment, which they had identified, which were actually giving something to all the stakeholders, had outperformed all the good to great companies by a huge margin. The set of publicly traded FOE were compared with 11 good to great companies. And over a 10-year horizon, FOEs outperformed the good to great companies by 1,026% to 331%. And over 5 years, outperformed by 128 compared to 77%. So I think that just reinforced the belief in me that I think organizations don't just exist for shareholders or promoters, they exist for all the stakeholders. And leadership is very, very critical in this. It's very important that leadership calls the shot. So purpose makes the true leadership possible. So with this, I want to end my talk. Thank you very much.